Welcome in, everybody. See everybody joining quickly, so that's great. We've already got 12 visitors in the room, 13 and counting. Happy to see you guys here today. We will get started in just a few moments, and I'll introduce myself and Cesar briefly here for those of you that don't know us already. My name is Heather Dawson, and I work here at Maxsold in the business to business sales department in business development. And this is my colleague Cesar Fuentes, who works in customer success with strategic accounts. And we are going to be doing this webinar this evening, talking about decluttering and estate sale tactics through treasure hunting, which is what a lot of us end up doing when we're inside our customers' homes and we're helping them navigate what to do with the things that they may not be able to keep. We will also be doing a demo of how to use our amazing AI integrated app this evening, so stay tuned for that. And we will just wait a few more moments to make sure everybody gets in. I know we had about 50 something registered and people are still coming in the room. So we'll just wait a few minutes. Great that everybody who is here is able to join. I would love for you to share your company and location in the chat if you're comfortable doing that. It's always nice to know where people are coming in from. So feel free. I myself am in South Carolina, and oh, awesome. We've got Chicago in here. Welcome, Jennifer. Thank you for sharing that. And Ontario, Janet, welcome in. Welcome in, you guys. Darla, good to see you again, Darla, in Philadelphia. Cheryl in Pittsburgh, Dawn in Boston. Got people coming in from all over. More Chicago, Clutter to Cash in Vancouver, Plymouth, wonderful. A bunch of my colleagues and I just did a little pop-up event tour down the West Coast and the northeastern, mid-Atlantic area. So we may have seen some of you guys during those pop-up events that we did earlier this month. It was great to see any of you that were there. One Source, good to see you here today too. All right, let's get started. So next slide. Awesome, the opportunity. So for any of you that are not yet familiar with what's happening in the market of re-commerce and resale, we have a massive growth in secondhand goods that's really flooding into the market right now and really needs a solution, desperately needs a solution. The data that we collected shows that there were over 1 million prospective buyers and potential bidders checking out just our site last year, interested in what was on the market in the resale world, or as we may call it, re-commerce, being that we are a resale market on the website. So looking at that and how many shoppers we now know are out there right now in North America looking for secondhand goods, and knowing how many goods there are to provide them, which many of us here today know because we're in the homes seeing it. The next step really that we're looking at is how to connect those items with those buyers. So we want to make that connection so that we get those goods into the hands of the people that's looking for them. And we see all of you here this evening as really the key to unlock and solve that problem. So we're excited that you're here to learn more because we want to work with you to help you be a solution out there for the people that have the items to put into the market and connecting those items with the people that are seeking them out. So next slide. All right. So, all right, looking at some of the pain points that we all might be dealing with. Whew. So if you're a realtor or you're an organizer or you're a move manager or even, a clean out, clear out expert of some sort, you are in homes and you are finding that people need answers and solutions, and sometimes they need it in a very timely manner, particularly if they're going to be selling their real estate. And boy, do they often expect whoever is in that home meeting with them to be the expert on everything, right? And it's just not possible. We can't be an expert on everything. Even appraisers, and I myself, as an appraiser, can tell you, appraisers can't be experts on everything either. It's just not possible. So we need to provide those solutions to our clients. In addition to which, finding the avenue of getting items sold for our clients, rehoming items for our clients, getting items out of the house for our clients is time consuming. There's a lot of work that can go into that. Historically, in the past, it's always been such a big, daunting project for so many professionals in the field, the families navigating it, everybody. It is a pain point that has existed. And then, of course, we're looking at deadlines, right? So we're often working in teams professionally. So we've got realtor and we've got move manager and we've got estate sale company or platform, the various of people, the junk callers, we're all working together and we're trying to respect and honor and meet each other's needs and timelines to help the client as best we can. So there are a lot of moving parts. It does often cause complexity and anxiety in the mix for the client, but I know we're all so good at working together and helping the client not feel too anxious, even though it's natural. But at the end of the day, it is how can we all come together and provide the most efficient, time-effective, and cost-effective solution. So, at Maxsold, this is what we have seen as the main pain points and needs in the industry that need to be addressed. And I think we may have some solutions for you this evening. Next slide. So some real world examples. And many of these I just mentioned in the last slide, really the tight closing date, 1,000 items to rehome in 10 days. It's not an unlikely scenario. And when you're on that type of timeline, getting things cataloged and advertised and sold and cleared all of the house entirely can sound very daunting, and to many people who've never seen it or done it, it might even sound impossible, but it is possible, I assure you. And you're looking at trying to, like I said in the last slide, be an expert on what you can be. You can't be an expert on everything, and bringing in the right people into the mix. So being fully transparent about what we can provide and what you can provide. And then when it comes to things like niche collections, knowing who to bring into that collaborative network of professionals that we're all working with. And Maxsold has some tools this evening that we're going to introduce you to that will really help in that situation, as well as in the situation where you're trying to be as cost effective as possible and time efficient as possible, as mentioned on the last slide. Next slide. Okay, so at this point, what we really would like to do is show you the magic, show you our app, do a quick demo, and show you how our app is going to make things more efficient, be able to help you with answering many of those questions that your clients have, like what could this be worth? What is that? Should I sell this? Should I not sell that? And also just show you how simple and quickly you can help your client identify and create as an inventory what they need to sell so that Maxsold can assist you. So I'm going to pass the torch over here to my colleague Cesar so he can take over the screen and show you guys a demo. So just one moment, and Cesar will do his demo.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Heather. See here. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and share my phone here just to get started. Where most of the demo will take place on the browser, desktop, laptop. Let me see here. All right, let me know if you guys can see my screen here in 2 seconds. All right.
We
All
see
right,
it.
so perfect. Thank you, Heather. So this is the seller app. You have five options here. The buyer app, of course, self-explanatory. You can go in there, look at other options. You can start bidding if you'd like. If you want to go back to the seller experience, just go ahead and click on sell, start selling. And of course, if you don't have an account, just go ahead and create one. It's going to send you a code to your email, and then you'll be able to join the seller portal. So here, I'm basically going to show you one flow. There's a couple flows that you can utilize in on site. Let me just bring up the correct option here since I have quite a bit of them. All right. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the smart cataloging on site. This is great if there's only 50 lots maybe on site, if you're not in a rush. But ideally, you want to make sure that you're keeping your time in mind for your client. And I'm gonna just cover why this is something you should keep in mind. Okay, so for the smart cataloging on site, you want to take 5 photos. The first photo is always gonna be the entire lot, and then the rest of the four there, you just want to try and capture as much detail as possible. So when you're on site, it's gonna do the smart cataloging, but as you can see right now, I'm basically just sitting here, right? So essentially, you're just gonna be standing there, sitting there, while it analyzes those 5 photos. So I wouldn't call this the most efficient way to do things, but it's an option, right? It reads everything that it analyzed from the photos and it comes back with the information. As you can see here, I can change things, I can add things and all of that. And then it will give me this is a good feature for the photos. So maybe if you're just starting out, it might be a good idea to do one or two on site just to get a better understanding on the kind of photos you want to add to your lot. So for here, for example, it mentions that close up photo and controller, front with power, close up of headset, microphone, and extended, retracted. So again, it's just giving you some uh, recommending what kind of photos you should take for the lot, right? Which is a great feature. But again, you have to wait for that to analyze and everything on site. So not really time efficient. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna go back. So now I'm gonna show you the what I would say the best process that you can adapt as a partner here for the Maxwell flow, which is the photo only mode. Photo only mode, you want to keep a couple things in mind. The first thing, make sure that you have the mindset thinking that I'm not going to come back to this location, so I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be taking all of the photos that I need. So if you remember back in the smart cataloging, it gave you, we recommend taking the model number and all this. Well, we're not going to give you those hints on photo only mode, so you just want to make sure that you're remembering. Of course, your first photo is going to be the entire lot. Your next 4 photos, you want to focus on ensuring that it's good detailed photos. because that's what it's going to utilize to analyze your lot and generate the titles and description. Of course, I'm going to show you, you can choose other photos, but then on selecting photos, selecting other photos right there, you're burning clicks, time, and it's not a very seamless process. So best thing to do is that when you're taking photos, keep the mindset of the first 5 photos are going to be analyzed by AI. So I'm going to focus on those. And then of course, the rest of them, you can just take whatever else is needed, right? So for now, or for this, I'm going to go ahead again. I'm gonna take photos only. It's gonna tell me the best practices. So again, the first photo is gonna be the entire lot, and then your other 4 photos are gonna be for the details, right? So I'm making sure that I'm grabbing the brand and any type of markings that it has. So I have my 5 photos, but again, then you want to just capture everything. All right, perfect. So I have 8 photos here, or 7 photos, and that's it, right? So I'm gonna confirm. It's gonna ask me if I have any notes. The notes is essentially your cheat sheet for when you're doing the AI. The best way I can explain this is if you're on site and you're taking photos of a brass lamp. Normally, you're not gonna be able to tell it's brass from a photo. Sometimes it'll look bronze, metal, right? So essentially, you want to touch it and feel it, and if you know it's brass, then you would just want to add it brass, right? That way, you know it's brass when you're doing this AI at home. It's like I mentioned, a cheat sheet, or you can also add your measurements here. And so essentially, what you would do is you would go through the entire location doing photo only mode for all of the lots. Right, so maybe take 2-3 hours of your with your team there, and then finally, once you're done the photos, you would log back into the desktop version. And again, on the laptop, desktop, you can be doing this at home. I always mention that you could be watching a show because honestly, all you have to do is do a few clicks. Okay, Heather, can you see my screen? Okay, perfect. So let's pretend that I took all of my photos, right? This is the catalog I was working with. My team did photo only mode on site, and now it's my job to generate the titles and description, right? So I actually have a few here that okay, so I have 8 lots here. So what I would do, normally, of course, you're going to have maybe 200, 250, right? So what you do, you log in, you have your catalog, you're ready to start generating your AI. Well, what you do is you click on your first lot, smart cataloging. As you can see, it's selecting the first 5 photos. This is why I mentioned earlier that when you're taking the photos, you want to keep that mindset already that the first 5 photos are going to be your detailed photos. Of course, your first photo is the entire grouping, and then the other 4 is all about the details, right? So, for example, this one, so the 5th one is good, the 4th one is good, the second and third one, unfortunately, we kind of already have these photos, right? So I would unselect it and I would select this one. Again, this is what we're trying to remove from that flow because we want you to already have these photos in order. So you remove the clicking and making sure that all you have to do is click smart cataloging and click start, right? So now moving forward, we're going to pretend that the first 5 photos are the best photos and we'll see what happens. Let me just fix this a little bit. There we go. Okay, so smart cataloging, it auto selects the 5, start. Again, same thing, smart cataloging. So unfortunately, the first 5 photos that you saw there are not the best, but just for the demo purposes, we'll pretend that it is. Same with that one. That's actually a duplicate, but again, just to show you the speed. Again, unfortunately, I should have. Okay, let me fix this a little bit. And then, okay. There we go. So this is why it's important to focus on your first five photos to be your most detailed photos. Okay, smart cataloging, start. Smart cataloging, start, and then there we go. So essentially, and here's my eighth one, right? Start. Oh, I missed the chair there, but that's okay. Okay, so now we're gonna come back to our very first one. As you can see, I already picked everything up from the photos. This is why it's very important to have good lighting. Ensure that you're getting good detailed photos because that's literally what the AI will pick up on. As you can see, there's a dinnerware set, tea set. Yes, yes, all of this is correct. Pattern, and again, it's not randomly guessing, right? It's picking it up from the photos. This is why, you know, photos are very important. So just for the sake of this demo, again, it's including all the pieces it saw, right? But for the sake of this demo, we'll pretend that everything is accurate. I don't recommend just going through it quickly. Just make sure that everything is accurate. New with tags. Of course, it is Coach. It's a satchel. Maybe you forgot what it was. You can come back down, right? Look at the photos. Get more information. Wow, 895. That's interesting. For a satchel. I mean, not for me, but there it is, right? And if there's any notes, you would click on notes, right? There's no notes there, but okay, perfect. Approve, and we're gonna keep moving, right? So now, just for the second time, we're gonna pretend that everything is correct, and we're gonna keep flying. And I mean, you could be watching a show or something. I don't know. And there it is, and all of this correct. Okay. Let's just quickly, Tiffany, crystal, clear, yep. Medium, because it captured the measurement photos. So again, we'll keep going here. All right, so that's it. So there's your eight logs I mean, normally it'll take you a little bit longer just to double check, give it that human touch. So it took a couple minutes there. Let's go back to our very first one. I think it was Johnson. And there it is, right? So that's how the AI works. This is what we're trying to assist you guys when doing the cataloging. We're trying to save that hassle of generating the title and description with multiple tabs, but we also don't want to give you AI all to generate everything because then that's when mistakes start to happen. People forget to go through every lot because at the end of the day, AI is AI and it's not going to be 100% accurate. That's why we're doing it this way to ensure that you're still having a few touches in each lot to try and make sure that everything is accurate. If something doesn't look accurate, you can delete. You can add. So everything you can edit anything that it generates. And that's the AI for you. Oh, let me just.
Can you show them real quick how, if they're at a home and somebody says, that's my dish set, like the one that you just had up in the pictures, and they said, how would I know how this will sell on Max Sold? What can you tell me about it? Can you show them how that works? How it will show you some links when you do the smart catalog?
Oh, the estimated. Let me just. Oh, I didn't finish this one. Yep. Let me just go to one then. Here we go. So here's the dish set. So essentially, since you're running it through the smart cataloging, it is gonna pick up similar lots that have sold with Max Sold in the past. Let me just have a quick look here. I think something that we're trying to fix is the region it's going to show. But there you go. So essentially, it is going to match the keywords with your lot and trying to give you a better idea if we have sold it. Of course, with plates like this, it's very hard to do. It's much better if you have certain unique items
Like a
uh,
KitchenAid mixer, something like
yeah,
that.
exactly,
Definitely be able to show them.
like this one. This one's this is it's one item, so it knows exactly what it is and it's going to find exactly what it's sold for, right? So here is essentially matching that item to previous sold items. So this could be used to, in case your client is a little iffy on adding it to max sold, maybe they have high value expectations, and then, this could move the needle there. All right, perfect. Heather, was there anything you'd want me to show? Thanks.
Well, that was just one of the ones that I thought would be helpful because I'll talk a bit about it in the next slide too.
All right, perfect. Back to you watching. I'm gonna share.
Thank you. Cheryl, I see that you had a quick question. There are some other questions popping up. As soon as we finish up in just a couple more slides, we will answer all the questions that you guys have. We'll do the Q&A at the end. So don't worry, I promise I will come back to them. But with the cataloging, so next slide, slide 6, yeah. So as we had mentioned before the demo, there are so many items out there that need a solution, and many of them are sitting right in your clients' homes. We have integrated AI features in-house in our tool to serve you and help you when you're navigating a fast and efficient way to inventory. We call it catalog all of those items for your client so that they can sell those items. And something to keep in mind is that with this tool and these features and what we're doing, you can use them in a variety of ways. So I mean, you can hop on our app and create your seller account. It is free. Do that anytime you want. We encourage you to play around with it and check it out. And you can just, you could create an inventory in your client's home simply because you need an inventory of what is there. And you can use our app to do that. Feel free to do that. Use our smart cataloging feature to do that if they want an inventory and they want to see an idea of what those types of things are selling for. There's lots of different ways to use this tool to serve your clients beyond just running a sale, which ultimately, at the end of the day, it does get to that point. But yes, please get in our app and check it out and play around with it. Next slide. Okay, so what we want you to know and what great looks like is definitely being able to partner with professionals like yourself in this industry so that together we can provide an efficient process for your clients. We have a process designed for teams. It is compliant. We get houses empty on time. We are a resource for you. You are experts. We work with a variety of different experts within the field and recognize you do as well. We're always happy to also make those connections. I mean, we're working with organizers, move managers, appraisers, realtors, junk removal companies, all of these different professionals in the clear out and downsizing and estate sale world are working towards a very similar goal for clients. So we have found that this tool that we are providing is serving all of those different professionals and is really helping when we all work collaboratively together. Next slide. So what are the opportunities for you? Well, if you need to run an estate sale for a client, here we have created a very simple, efficient way for you to go about doing that. Essentially, create your inventory or your catalog, as we call it. Let us host the sale. Let us advertise the sale. Let us navigate the questions and bringing in the bidders that will buy the items. Let us connect those items of your clients to the audience for you. We will process all the payments at the end, and then we will share a detailed report of everything that's sold, what it sold for, who the buyers are, what they purchased, and of course, when they're coming during your pickup window, which then you would project manage, you would supervise. So essentially, if you can create this inventory, this catalog, and project manage the pickup event, we can help you with everything else in between. We can help you run a timely, efficient estate sale as an online auction on our platform. Building this into the repertoire and menu of services that you're offering your clients today, we do feel confident we'll win more clients for you, and we'll help you win proposals by adding this to the menu of services that you offer. We have seen it really bring in and expand business for our current partners, and want to support more and more professionals in the industry and having that same success. And what does success really look like? It looks like all of our clients, the end sellers, the end clients that you are working with, having better experiences when they're going through the downsizing process or the need for an estate sale experience. We're here to support that. Next slide. So try it now. We do have a promo code. So if you're here today and you would like to just try out a sale at a 0% rate, you can run a sale if it's of your own items from your own home, just as a practice sale or just to see what it's like. This would be the promo code to use. And if you are a new partner, please do reach out. I apologize for the date at the end of this slide. It should be changed to end of April. So the code will still work. But that is for those who've attended the webinar today, special for you guys. And yeah, I think that's everything that we need to let you know before we take questions. I think the last thing I was going to say is, I mean, I have my QR code linked. I think that goes to my Calendly. So if you want to book time to connect, do feel free to reach out and book time. I or somebody else on my team are always more than happy to carve out 30 minutes to answer questions one-on-one with you guys. But yeah, there is time to answer questions now. Both Cesar and I can hop in and see how we can help. And I think the first one back here, Cheryl, you had asked if you add the detailed picture with the logo, it will change the comparables. Okay, so
yes, Heather, yeah, I can take this one. Yeah, so essentially, what Cheryl's saying is that the more detail that you add to the AI, it's gonna pick it up and be able to give you better options or outputs on when you're selecting, your titles and description. That's why it's very important to add all of that.
Okay, perfect. And Darla asks, what if there is no connectivity on site? Cesar, you want to answer this one?
Yep. Darla, so we have an option, the low data mode, which essentially it's you're not going to need a good service. But at the end of the day, you're gonna need some type of service. Because at the end of the day, sorry, I repeated that. Because you need to connect to our cloud, and that's how we're able to have everything on our system. So if you're referring to no service, then unfortunately the workaround would have to be that you take photos on your phone and then upload them. That's really what it comes down to. But if you have spotty internet, not the best service, then we do have the low data mode where you can still utilize the app, take photos. The only difference is that once you get home, you would click on synchronize. It doesn't automatically synchronize to our system.
Yeah, I could speak to this. I did a sale for one of my organizing clients, and I had to use low data mode. And at first, it's a little scary because you don't see the pictures, but it's being saved on the back end. So you're moving through it. But then, like, if I go outside where the Wi-Fi was better for whatever reason, the towers, or I drive down the road to Starbucks and I click the sync button, they all auto-populate and you see that they're there. So it's just kind of like hiding in the background. And you can have your whole team can be operating on low data mode. They just, before you just have to wait for everybody to get to a place to sync before you start working from the web app. Is that right, Cesar?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You just have to keep it on the background there, and then once you get to a good connection, then you can hit synchronize. And I see Darla, you're asking what are good metrics, lots per hour. That's a really good question. It really depends. And it's funny that you asked that because I reached out to a few of my experienced partners, including Heather, a couple weeks ago to try and get some idea. And it really comes down to, how well the location is organized. So if you have to do extra moving, extra pulling things, putting things away, organizing, that we kind of gave an average of about 20 minutes per lot. But this is from the entire journey. So this estimate that I got came from, grouping the lot, cataloging, well, taking photos of that lot, doing the AI of that lot, and also with the pickup. So essentially, that how this was calculated is we took the entire time that the team was at the location and then divided it by the lots that we had. So that's how we came up with 20 minutes per lot. But it did range 20, with the more experienced partners, 30 if you're just starting out type of thing. But it's very hard because it really comes down to how well organized the location is. What do you suggest if you have original price tags attached? Um, if you have the original price tag attached, then if it's anything above, $30, then I would say that it's good to go by itself. What do you think, Heather?
Yeah, yes. It could be certainly its own auction lot if it's, above $30 generally. No, now that I think, because if it's $30 resale, that it's going to sell for I'm sorry, $30 retail new, it's going to sell for less resale.
Oh
So
yes, you're right. Yeah.
if it's around $100 new resale, then it could be its own auction lot. If it's $30, then it's probably worth like 25 to 30% of that in the resale market. So you may want to group it. But if you're asking, should you share photos of price tags and that type of thing? I mean, that's up to you. It can indicate to people that it's a gently or unused item, potentially, which can help with bidding. Um, but yeah, we do have a biweekly class that you can attend anytime you want. It's ongoing. And in that class, our colleague Heather Fraser Dewsome talks about all of those types of logistics of deciding what to put in an auction lot and how many items should be in an auction lot and how do you make that determination. So if you don't already have the registration link for that class, and I do believe it's in the partner newsletter, let us know because we can get that to you. Great class. I highly recommend checking that out. And how do you specify that clients need to arrange for movers or heavy pieces? Okay, so what I do is if I have, and I also believe that in the app it will give you some options where you can check things off like this is heavy, right? It says, all right, it'll tell you. Um,
Uh, it, yeah, for that, yeah, you have to add it manually right now, but it is coming. I know what you mean with the
yeah,
mentioning if it's heavy or not, but
I think
yeah.
we can see your Slack or something on the screen right now.
Oh, sorry guys, that's my internal information. But just quickly to jump into this, to make sure we can keep it very straightforward. How do you specify that the clients need to arrange for movers or for heavy pieces? The good thing is that, and who's asking Darla, is that with our buyers' term and conditions, we mentioned that the buyers need to bring on their own movers, they need to bring their own supplies, they need to bring their packing material, boxes, and all of that good stuff. Unless, and I'm sure Heather can speak more on this, unless your client is very nervous on damage maybe, or she just doesn't want people in the house, then I believe Heather has a great solution for that. If you don't mind.
Yeah, I have in the past. I did have one client once who had a nice antique piece, and it was in a very difficult upstairs place where the stairs weren't the friendliest. And I told her she had, a couple options. One, which most of our clients do like, is telling them up front, hey, look, you've got some beautiful furniture. It's on the second or third floor. We recognize the concern about people knocking into a wall or the safety of bringing it down the stairs. We can talk about bringing a professional mover or some muscle in for an hour at whatever their hourly rate is, and they can get these items down to the garage. And usually clients are more than happy to accommodate that. You just arrange it ahead of time. I mean, even in a lot of the locations and cities that you guys are in the US, there's things like Dolly app, where you can go on Dolly app and you can get somebody within the half a day, a couple hours. They can come out, they're insured, and they can move item from point A to point B in the house and things like that. I've even used that on pickup day if somebody realizes that it might not fit in their car. Say, hey, get on Dolly app, get a guy out here in an hour and a half, and he'll get it from point A to point B to your house. So there are resources, but if you do get to the point where you're planning your pickup or you're deciding on certain things that your clients have questions about, we're happy to coach you through that also and help answer those questions as they come up. Um,
Perfect. And just quickly, I see that there's a question and answer over on the other side. So we have, and I apologize if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, El Sheva. Her question is, so only 5 pictures are shown to bidders, or they can access all when interested in the product? Great question. So they can access all of the photos that you would take. The first 5 photos is only for the AI to generate the title and description. But you will be able to see, all of your photos there on the final product, so they are able to see that. Good question.
awesome. Okay, and Judy asked, how much time on site plus off site would you estimate a typical house would be for listings, total? Before I think Cesar, you kind of answered this earlier with your
Yeah, so just to give you a rough idea, it depends on the experience level, but what I estimated was 200 lot auction would take about, give or take, 67 labor hours for an experience. And then, of course, for someone new, it could take about 100 labor hours. And Judy, I see your next question, and I'd like to answer this. It would be helpful if Maxwell would be able to provide an analyst we can give to clients that illustrates the range of cost and income of max sold sales, given that we need to explain this client before they can understand the Maxwell versus having everything removed. Okay, so I thought I understood this question, but maybe Heather, do you?
um let me read it.
Helpful if Maxwell will be able to provide this.
Be able to provide an analysis of how we can give clients that illustrates the range of cost and income of max sold sales. I'm
So that
guessing that Judy is asking um, how to explain what the cost of doing a max sold sale will be. Judy, you can also book time with me, and we can meet one on one, and I can try and answer some of your questions. Um, then too, because it seems like you have a lot of them, and I want to make sure we answer them right, and we're not obviously we're going off of chat here, so yeah, I'm not sure. I guess.
Yeah, well, just quickly, what I believe you're asking, and again, yeah, definitely connect with her. She's very experienced, but what I mentioned is that it's extremely hard for Maxwell to give you an analyst on how long a would cost the client, because unfortunately, it really comes down to your team experience. How fast your team is moving. So if we give you a rough quote, that might be too low if your team is just learning max sold, or maybe they just move a little bit slower. So that's one of the main reasons we can't, give you something like that, just because then it's going to come back and bite us if we don't adapt it to your own team. And also the income on max sold, it really depends on the type of value that you're adding as well. At the end of the day, it comes down to the competition, so we can't give you an estimate for the entire auction. But again, definitely meet with Heather. I'm sure that she'll be able to answer that. Cheryl, mine. Yeah, no, absolutely, Cheryl. Definitely, definitely knew that yours was you were stating, and it's absolutely correct statement. I can definitely get behind that. Uh, Where's the money going? So with our app, you're going to be able to choose who the payee is. So either it goes directly to your client or it goes to you, and then you deduct your services. A lot of our partners have different ways of handling this. So it's really up to you where you want the money to go. The only thing that would go to Maxold is the 30%. Other than that, it's it's gonna go to your client yourself, but then you're also dealing with the kickback that we give you, the boost from our cut. So it's a little bit of a more complicated question, but it might be good to connect with your business to business manager to get a little bit more information.
Yep. And Dawn, yes, you can try a personal sale and put as many or as little items as you want in. Um, there's no minimum that we're going to require if you run it. And the auction will go live at your site. Yeah, yeah. So to run that test sale, we will host that auction. Absolutely. You and I should connect, or if you're already speaking with somebody here at Max Sold other than me, whomever your point person is, connect with them to get you rolling and started. But there's no certain set number that you need to have for auction lots. And does the team upload images to the? Yes, Jennifer, that's right. So your team can be working together all at the same time on the same sale, and they can be uploading auction lots in one room while you're in another room. And Jolene, your app and process is compliant with what? I don't know. I'm not sure I understand that question. Um,
Yeah, I think Jolene, I think you're asking about specific legal regulatory or industry standards. It's gonna go with the max old standards. So everything is in our terms and agreements. So you can go through all of that. That way, you understand how the max old auction works, or of course, go speak with a business to business manager that you might already be chatting with. They will be able to give you a little bit more information. But at the end of the day, we're essentially following the max sold auction process.
I think those are all the questions. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining us this evening. Really appreciate you being here. Look forward to connecting with you all in more depth, and always happy to connect and have a meeting to answer any additional questions you have. Oh, what is the minimum number for lots that you suggest for a client for an auction? Okay, real quick, I will run you guys through what we call the 3 V's: value, volume, and variety. So there is a way to have a 5-star sale, meaning our partners that run very profitable sales that make a lot of money. There are three components to it essentially to keep in mind. One is volume. You want enough for a sale. So what does that mean? Think an estate sale or a large downsizing project The analogy that I have been using recently is think about the days, if you guys can remember back to when you would get lots of catalogs in the mail, and they used to start to come in like November when the holidays were amping up. And if you get a catalog and it has like 2 pages, you might toss it in the trash. Like, that's not too interesting. If you get a catalog and it has 300 pages, it might sit on a counter and collect dust because it looks overwhelming. But if you get a catalog that's just the right number of pages, you might be able to sit down, watch that show on Netflix for an hour and flip through it and see everything. It's kind of the same way. An auction catalog online, you want it to be just the right size to entice people to be interested and click in. Everything on the internet is about clicks and views. How do you get the most clicks and views? Because those correlate with traffic and competitive bidding. So I would say when you learn more about our process and about auction lots and what an auction lot is, I would say those sales probably have somewhere around 150 to 225 auction lots. Auction lot can be one thing, like a lawnmower or a couch. It can be a bundle of things, like a set of Corningware or a box of costume jewelry. So that's volume. Variety, the more variety you have, the better. So successful sales have a wide variety of items, from woodworking tools to Pyrex to rugs to art to furniture to jewelry, you name it. The more eclectic, the better. The more variety you have in a sale, the more variety of people click and view your sale. And then the last thing is value. If you have items of value to sell, then that is going to first increase the traffic and clicks and views you get to the sale. Second, it's going to increase your sell-through rate so that almost, or if not 100% of everything in the sale will sell. And then thirdly, it's going to increase the realized prices on everything. So if you have, an expensive 18 karat gold bracelet, a valuable vehicle, and even lots of trendy mid-century modern things that people think are fun in your sale, you're going to see things that are hard to sell for higher prices than you thought they could possibly sell for. You're going to see close to 100% sell-through rate, and you're just going to have a banger of a sale, essentially. So those are the ways to have a very successful sale, if that answers your question. I think are there more questions here? Oh yes, there is a do not sell list, a DNS list, Darla. We can share that. I can send that over to you. Mainly it's like taxidermy type items, ivory. We don't sell guns. We don't have a firearms license. We can't sell a wine collection. We can sell luxury brands. We have an authentication process it needs to go through. And I see Cesar has shared the link for his class that he teaches every other week. So if you have questions for Cesar, if you liked what you heard today, that was a snippet of a bigger class that he teaches bi-weekly.
And also above, you see the Maxwell process that auction Fraser teaches.
Yep. I see lots of sales in LA, but none are in my area. How will that affect bids? We have a gigantic following in the Southern California region, and in the greater LA area alone. You will do great in LA. I don't think I'm missing. I'm checking to see if I'm missing any other questions.
No, I think Don minimum. Oh, I think you already went through that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So the minimum
Valencia.
number, I don't think I answered exactly now that I think about it. I told you about how to have a 5-star auction. Max Sold is going to charge 30% or $99, whichever is greater. That's what your client, the seller, will pay to Max Sold. So minimum items, you can sell as little as you want in a sale, but keep in mind that if it ends up being a $300 or a $200 sale, right? Max Sold needs to take $99 or 30%, whichever is greater. So that's the only thing that I would say. I don't know if you want to add to that, Cesar.
Yeah. And one more thing, actually, to Jolene about the compliant. We also do all the seller. We collect the W-9s as well, so you don't have to be doing your own taxes that you receive there. So that might have been what you were referring to. So
Yeah.
we definitely do all of that. We have partnered up with one of the top leaders in financing and payments. They're called Chipotle. So yeah, we definitely do all that. We collect everything for you to make it easier for you. That way you don't have to keep track of it.
Yeah. Yes, Valencia, we do have relationships with different appraisers in different regions, and yeah, we can talk more about doing introductions between partners. We're always happy to do that.
All right, perfect.
All right, thank you so much, everybody, and I hope you have a great evening. You all should get this recording at some point tomorrow, so you'll have it as your reference, and it was great chatting with everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your night.
Thank you.